Hello and welcome to another episode of MacStories Unwind. I'm John Voorhees and I have Federico Viticci with me. Hey, Federico.
Hello, John. How are you?
Good. Welcome back to Italy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Last week, we recorded a little early because you had a big trip planned for you and Sylvia, and I want to hear all about it because people, you were gone, you came back, we've had a busy week, we've been dealing with OS previews, and you and I haven't had a chance to talk yet about your trip, except for little bits here and there. So, why were you traveling? What was going on?
So we went to see Oasis
Nice.
in Wembley, at Wembley Stadium. So I already did sort of like Mike asked me to do like a review of London in yesterday's episode of Connected Pro. So I talked about the city of London and some thoughts about getting around London in Connected. But I was saving the Oasis thoughts for Unwind.
Nice.
So I was lucky enough. So I didn't get tickets myself. So finally, I'm able to tell the full story now that everything's been done and I cannot jinx myself anymore because I have been to the concert.
Okay.
So I did. So when Oasis announced their reunion last year, context, I am a super fan. Have been
Yes.
for over 20 years. Oasis have been a defining part of my teenage years and high school years. I was obsessed when I was younger, and I still am. And I was able when I was 17, so 20 years ago. I'm turning 37 this year. I was able to see Oasis once in my life in 2005, October 2005, with a friend of mine from high school in Milan at the Asago Forum, and that was the Don't Believe the Truth tour in 2005. So almost exactly 20 years ago.
Wow.
And when in August 2024, last year, they announced they were going to get back together for this Live 25 tour, I knew I had to go. I just had to go. It had to happen. I've been waiting forever. I thought it was never going to happen, but a part of me always remained optimistic that eventually we would see Oasis again.
Yeah.
So when the tickets came out, obviously, you know the story, Ticketmaster was impossible to use.
Oh,
We
it was
woke up early,
unbelievable.
used 3 different computers. We waited in the virtual queue for 5 hours. We still couldn't get tickets. I was very sad, very demotivated. And after 5 hours, like I woke up at 8 a.m. or something, and I checked my phone at noon because I was using my MacBook Pro and Sylvia's MacBook and my iPad, and we couldn't get tickets. So after four and a half hours or something, I check my phone and I see an iMessage from friend of the show, friend of MacStories, Jeremy Burge,
Yes.
former Emojipedia boss, now turned full-time dad and boat captain. And I see this text from Jeremy just casually telling me, "Hey Tichi, I saw on Mastodon or Blue Sky, I don't remember, that you couldn't get tickets. I just wanted to let you know that I was able to purchase 4, and it's just it's just the 2 of us. But I figured, I got 2 extra tickets. I figured you would want them." And I look at this iMessage, and I'm like, "There's no way. There's no way
Is this really Jeremy? Is this somebody pranking me?
Is this really
right?
Jeremy?" I was like, and I was like, "Jeremy, oh my God, you're changing my life." And so, I was incredibly grateful to Jeremy for doing that and just thinking of me. Apparently, like, it was a whole thing with the when we got to the concert, we had more Australian people in front of us, and they were
Really?
talking, and the other Australians were also saying, "Yeah, the Ticketmaster purchase process in Australia was totally fine."
Oh, so is that Jeremy bought them in Australia or through the Australian site?
Jeremy
Oh,
was geographically in Australia.
I
at the
thought he
time.
was in the UK probably.
No.
Oh,
So
okay.
we're thinking that maybe at the time last year, they got lucky because maybe the Australian Ticketmaster servers were routing those requests more quickly
Yeah.
than everybody in Europe. And so it was like, yeah, it wasn't really a problem. I opened the link and I was like,
wasn't
Jeremy,
a problem. I tried to get tickets.
I waited 5 hours in a virtual queue.
No, it
And
was insane. I gave up myself. It was just
Yeah.
too hard to get tickets. Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, first time at Wembley for
Yeah.
me.
It's a huge stadium.
It's a huge stadium. So I kept thinking that it kind of felt like a movie when I was there.
Uh-huh.
It felt kind of, You know how you're looking at, I don't know, a beautiful landscape or something that you've seen in pictures and videos, and then and when you're there in real life and it's happening to you, it kind of feels fake, but it's not
I felt
fake.
like that actually in parts of Rome, like going to the Trevi
Okay.
Fountain and places like the places you've seen in movies for
Places
years.
you've
And
seen, experiences you've seen from movies and videos, and then you're
right,
there and it feels fake, but it obviously it's not fake, right? Because you're there.
right.
And I kept thinking, looking at the crowd of people, that I don't know. I kept thinking that it wasn't real, but it was. And so I have this image of standing there. By the way, I also saw Richard Ashcroft as
Oh,
the opening act.
really? I didn't realize.
Yeah,
Oh, I like him.
yeah, yeah. Everybody was absolutely singing and shouting "Bittersweet Symphony" at the end of his.
Oh, I can't believe.
Yeah,
Oh,
man,
wow, I had no idea. That's
it was
amazing.
so good. He's great. I love the
I
Verve
do
and I
too.
love Richard Ashcroft. So
Yeah, yeah.
anyway, there's this moment when I think it was either no Rock and Roll Star was later, but anyway they walk out and the entire stadium explodes, right?
Wow.
And so we were high up on. We didn't really have good seats, but it didn't matter, because the
Yeah, I
audio
saw
was
you were
at
kind of like a little bit on the side of the stage and kind
yeah
of on the higher tiers.
fifth level, but doesn't matter. The audio was excellent.
Oh,
Like
good.
Mike told me beforehand that I was gonna have the time of my life at Wembley when it comes to audio. They have really good audio for a
Oh, that's
stadium
good
of
because a
that
lot of
size.
stadiums don't. Because
Yeah,
I've been in
they have
stadiums before that are bad.
they have these huge floating sets of speakers
Uh
that are sort
huh.
of floating from high up the ceiling. Like
Oh, wow.
usually it's like a football stadium, right?
Right.
And so the pitch, like the football pitch, is not covered, but the seats are covered. And so hanging from the ceiling, from all these pipe structures
Uh huh.
above the seats, there are these floating sets of like semicircle speakers, like
Oh,
hanging, and they're massive, right? And
yeah.
they're basically shooting sound at you. And so that was good. And man, they sounded massive. Like Oasis sounded massive. They sounded, honestly, Liam sounded better than 20 years ago when I saw
Wow.
him in 2005. Definitely sounded better than when I saw Liam Gallagher by himself in 2019, just 2 weeks before COVID. No, 2020, early 2020.
I
Just
forgot that you did that. That was in
I
Milan.
did.
That was in
And
Milan,
no, that
right?
was in Rome. That was in
Oh, in
Rome. And
Rome.
actually, we later discovered that that concert
Yeah.
was originally considered one of the original
Super
COVID
spreader. Oh.
super spreader events, like early and we were like, oh, we're gonna die. Like
Was
we're
that in
gonna,
January or
was in
December or what?
late February 2020.
February. Oh yeah, definitely. Because
Yeah,
by early March it was really bad in Rome,
yeah.
in Italy. Yeah.
And Liam sounded so much better than 20 years ago or 5 years ago. And, which I think is quite impressive, like, the whole backstory of what Liam Gallagher has been through over the past few years. I mean, the guy is 52, right? And a
Yeah.
few years ago, after an entire lifetime of, rock and roll life
Hard
and
living.
hard living, he discovered that he was suffering from Hashimoto disease, which is this
I
like
never knew this. Yeah, it's a thyroid thing, right?
it's a thyroid thing. It's an autoimmune disease that sort of compromises your thyroid functions and obviously has consequences on your vocal cords and your throat and everything that is involved with singing. And
Yeah.
he's been working a lot. Like he's been working out a lot, completely changed his lifestyle. And very famously, he drinks a lot of tea. The famous,
Yes.
the famous video clip.
Served by
Um,
an old geezer. A little old geezer.
and he sounded great. Like I saw
Yeah.
some, I could hear it myself, and then I watched some videos. I think for the first time in 30 plus years of Oasis, Liam Gallagher is singing with vibrato in
Yeah.
some parts of certain songs.
Wow.
Like what? Yes.
Yeah.
And the big difference, of course, is the three guitars.
Sure.
Oasis with three guitars. So no Noel Gallagher and Archer and Arthur's. So Bonehead. Three guitars, two rhythmic guitars plus one lead guitar. man, that's the wall of sound right there.
Yeah.
That's the kind of Oasis sound that there are different opinions from Oasis fans. Like, do you like the simple raw sound of Definitely Maybe? Do
Yeah.
you like the more balanced sound of What's the Story, Morning Glory? Or do you like the wall of sound of Be Here Now? I've always been either a Definitely Maybe guy or a Be Here Now guy, maybe leaning more towards Be Here Now because I do love a wall of sound.
Yeah.
And
I do too.
Oasis in 2025 at Wembley with 3 guitars, they're massive. And
That was a
and
wall of sound for sure. Yeah.
that was a wall of sound, and by far the most. I think the entire concert was incredible, right?
Yeah.
Just seeing, more than 80,000 people singing Wonderwall or Stand By Me or Champagne Supernova all together
Yeah.
with the lights and everything was really beautiful. But so they're doing this thing now where before cigarettes and alcohol starts, Liam asks the audience to do the Poznan. So the Poznan, I was not familiar with what it was. So it turns out it's like a football, or as you guys in America would say, a soccer celebration where it started, I think, I don't remember, some team in Europe, I don't remember, Eastern Europe maybe, where they start chanting and basically they turn their backs to the pitch. And everybody sort of hugs and starts jumping with their backs to the football pitch.
Okay.
And so Liam asks to do the same thing, to turn around and hug whoever, whoever's sitting next to you. He says, in his very colorful language, he says, don't be shy, turn your back and do the Poznan. And so we turn our backs to the stage and I hugged 2 lads next to me. And we started jumping and singing Cigarettes and Alcohol. And I took a selfie video and it was so fun. And everybody was doing it because then I turned and I saw in the general standing area in front of the stage.
Yeah.
It looked like a sea of people going up and down. There are videos on Instagram and other places that you can see. It looks, here's the thing. It looks like the 90s. Like you go to Wembley Stadium to see Oasis, and it looks like you're rolling back the clock to 30 years ago. There was a guy in his mid 60s in front of us, maybe even early 70s.
Who was your age when
who was
they were
my
touring
age? Was
in the
my
90s,
age when they were touring? Was my age? Now the guy has white hair, and it was a little short. He was singing. He was having the time of his life. I was like, yes, like that. And next to him, there were like 2 guys that there must have been 22 or 23.
Yeah, I remember. That's what I was going to ask you because I think you mentioned to me that there are an awful lot of young people. They're in their 20s and so forth.
That's the final thing I will say is that we don't have that kind of cross-generational act, I think, in Italy. Like we have, singers and bands who have been around for a long time.
Very few anywhere in the world, really. When you think about it, it's groups like the Beatles. It's like Oasis, right?
I don't know. I think it's maybe the fact that they maybe it's the rock and roll lifestyle. Maybe it's the fact that they have been, especially Liam, have been really smart at embracing social media in a very unique way.
Yes.
It's the fact that the songs are still good. Maybe I was reading an article about in the New York Times a couple of months ago. Maybe it's the fact that the TikTok generation and Gen Z are sort of seeking this kind of experience now, right? They're going to a concert, hearing the wall of sound, seeing people play guitars, seeing a rock and roll singer maybe get the notes wrong, but it doesn't matter because you're jumping and you're screaming and you're having a good time. It's a combination of things, but the audience was really, really mixed. Like there were people in their 40s, people in their 50s, people in their late 60s, and a bunch of 20-somethings, which I thought was really nice to see. Really nice.
It really is. And it's kind of remarkable when you think about it, because, Oasis they were just gone for the longest time.
For 16 years.
Yeah, Noel and Liam were doing their solo things, but their solo careers were never anywhere close to what Oasis was, even though I really enjoyed it, especially some of Liam's stuff. But But yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds like an amazing
I
experience.
yeah, I saw a post from someone saying, I think it's kind of incredible that Oasis took 16 years off and they came back and they're the biggest band in the world
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
Again, after 16 years, like just like that. It's
There's really been
wild.
some big concerts in the last few years. I mean, Taylor Swift, obviously, forever was doing big shows, and Olivia Rodrigo is out there drawing huge audiences now too. I think people want live music again. I mean, I think
Yeah,
that that's partially driven by the post-COVID world too. I mean, people can
yeah,
actually get back together again and
yeah.
more easily. Yeah. So, do you think that you've been following obviously this tour a lot more closely than me? Do you think they'll do like some kind of tour film or album or something like that?
Okay, so at Wembley, there were in the general standing area, there were signs like essentially like a release that you are accepting just by walking into the concert
Oh, because you
area.
might get on film.
They're saying that you may be filmed for a documentary with the working title Morning Glory, I think.
Oh,
Working title,
yeah,
they're
yeah.
saying. So yeah, there's gonna be a documentary. I assume, given that they have been releasing singles for individual songs from different venues, I
Hmm.
assume they're gonna do, instead of like a proper concert album from the same concert, I think they're gonna do like an album with songs from a bunch of different locations. Like I don't know, Slide Away from Cardiff, or maybe I think they should do I think they should do probably Stand by Me from Wembley because it sounded incredible. I
Yeah.
think they're gonna do that and a documentary. And obviously the big question is there gonna be new music? Like that's the thing. Oh, and also I saw a rumor last night on Reddit
Hmm.
for potential Oasis Live 26 dates in Europe, including four
In
or
Italy.
in Italy, one in Milan, two in Milan, if the rumor is correct, June 7th and June 8th. So
Oh,
that's a Sunday and a Monday. We'll
that's
see.
WWC time.
Well, I
Yeah,
don't
I
care.
know how that one plays
It's
out.
Oasis. You know how it plays out.
I do. I
Um,
do.
oh, and if the rumor is correct, 4 to 5 nights at Knebworth Park in the UK.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
next year, John, 2026, is the 30th anniversary of Knebworth.
Really? Did not know that.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So we'll see. We'll see. But I don't know if you can, I don't think you can still find your way into a ticket. Maybe if you're willing to pay the price for one of those resellers,
Yeah.
or if you have a ticket already and you're waiting to go see Oasis, all I can say is that they're gonna sound incredible. You're gonna have a good time and take a lot of pictures, take a lot of videos, and just talk to whoever's next to you, because we talk to the guys in front of us and next to us. Everybody's out there having a good time. They each have their own Oasis backstory, and it's also good to meet fellow Oasis fans after
Yeah.
such a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice that community gets to get back together instead
Yeah,
of just being gathering online.
yeah.
All right, Federico. Well, I have a pick for you today that is not as expensive as going to an Oasis concert. It is the Fantastic Four First Steps. So last weekend, we've been suffering through a real heat wave here, and over the weekend, it was just absolutely oppressive to the point where we didn't even want to leave the house. But it's the weekend, and you don't want to just stay in and feel like a shut in all weekend. So we decided Friday night to go out to dinner and see a movie. And Jennifer and I went and saw Fantastic Four First Steps, which, there've been attempts to do Fantastic Four movies in the past. They have not gone well. They
Mm.
have not been great movies at all. However, this one really, really is good. It's done as kind of a retro futuristic movie. It's set in a parallel Earth where the vibe is kind of 50s, early 60s, but there's all this technology like flying cars and things. And the Fantastic Four are already established as a group of superheroes. And it's done really well. Pedro Pascal plays the one of the lead protagonists. You've got Vanessa Kirby in it. Both of them are super good in this movie. And you've got this bad guy, Galactus, who is coming on his ship to eat the Earth, and the Fantastic Four has to save it. And I found myself on the edge of my seat this entire movie. It was really exciting, a lot of fun. I feel like Marvel has captured maybe a little bit of the magic in the bottle again with this one, and I highly recommend it because it's in theaters now. Obviously, it'll be streaming eventually, but it does make for a good big screen experience if you can go. It's in IMAX in some places. We did not see IMAX, but we did see it on a nice big screen with a good sound system. So highly recommend that one. And then before we leave, Federico, I do want to share one Unwind deal because, Happy Gilmore is making a comeback on Netflix. There's Happy Gilmore 2 with Adam Sandler. And Happy Gilmore 2 has been on my mind because my youngest son was in New York City helping with the press event for this movie. He was
Nice.
he was playing a gopher. He was in the background, getting things for people and got to meet a lot of the people who were in the movie. But the original is from 1996, and it's all about a guy who is a hockey player who finds out that he's good at golf. And so it's one of those classic fish out of water type comedies of someone who's coming from one walk of life into a much different walk of life. He starts out as a fighting hockey player, and now he's in the more refined world of golf and trying to fit in. And it's got Adam Sandler's great over the top humor. So Happy Gilmore right now, if you go to the TV app, you can get it for $7.99. Not quite the lowest it's ever been, but very close. So that's a really good deal. So I'll have a link in the show notes.
Nice.
And with that, Federico, I think we are finished with Unwind.
Wow, that is very official. You made it sound very official.
No, yeah, not finished forever, but finished for
we
this
are
week.
finished. We are finished with Unwind.
It's Federico, it's week 31, and week 31 is coming to a close. You know how I like to count my weeks. You can find the two of us, of course, over at MacStories.net and on social media, where Federico is at Viticci. That's VITICCI. And I'm at John Voorhees. JOHNVOORHEES. Talk to you next week, Federico.
Ciao, John.